well, and we're live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janema.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 484. Easy for me to say.
Yeah,
It is a stormy, overcast today here, which has
it
been
is.
kind of par for the course. My hair feels very like it loves the air, the water in the air.
Yeah,
It's like, give me
yeah,
more.
I was trying a new shampoo this week, so having this different sort of weather has not told me whether or not it's going well. I
Fuzzy
think it's
isn't
going.
bad. It's just not great sometimes either. Like I'll look in the I'll look in the meeting preview, right? And I'm like, oh my Lord, did I look at myself before I jumped on this meeting?
Get a little bit of the Nutty Professor, or I don't, is that the
Mhm.
one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of characters actually that have
hmm
like
Kramer.
frazzled. Yeah. Yes, I was thinking of Kramer when you said that, but burst into the door and be like, Jerry. All right. Well, it is the third quarter. Wanted to get a reminder in for those that are participating in our craft along. And even if you aren't currently participating in our craft along, there's always time to get caught up on first quarter and second quarter. It's anything that was knit this year. And then also, you can do one per quarter of a previous finishing a previous year's WIP. So if you've just been knitting along or crocheting along and you haven't come to be a part of entering, you can certainly get caught up. You get some nice little check marks on our dashboard. And yeah, we'll be drawing for prizes next week on that, hoping to get out onto Discord what those prizes will be this week. So get your entries in. Everything that you've
Cool.
entered counts. Yep. And also the Q3 challenges are coming soon. I just want to make sure that we've got the idea, we've got the prompts, but just want to make sure that we've got them fully fleshed out with some
Yeah, we need
examples.
the rules.
Yeah. And so, yeah, lo and behold, it will be things that you've probably, if you started on July 1st with something, it will likely count for one of these categories, which is kind of the fun of this craft along.
Mhm.
If I'm calling something that is a creature of our minds fun, but I can hear my daughter's voice in my head. Like, Mom, that's kind of a lame thing to do. Call the thing that you created fun. But yeah. So again, we just want to encourage as much participation as possible. Also, if you are a Patreon member, lots of conversation going on out there. I posted some concert photos, and we've got a member in Prague that posted her. So the tagline is every adventure that you take your crafting along is a crafting adventure. And so yeah, we've got people in Prague, we've got people at Mount Rushmore, we've got me with the local concerts and a video here and there of some music. So Tom Petty cover band was the my latest. I also went to another band last weekend, which was really good. I need to post a video of that as well. But my yeah, my current on the go project you'll see in Whips, but please do share. And we hope to do I hope to do a drawing for a special drawing for Patreon members out in Patreon. That is one of our membership benefits, is that if you are a member, you get a special drawing a couple times a year. So if you are crafting along and putting entries in, you'll get an extra entry in an extra drawing out on Patreon. As well as I think I'm going to start a survey on like what nights people are best for people. I'm finding that Wednesdays don't always work for me either. So trying to make sure that we've got other representations are other times and other parties able to join if your Wednesday night is always busy. So for our craft and chat. So a lot of
Okay.
stuff coming to Patreon. Stay tuned.
Yeah. I am uh, planning my crafty adventure for this weekend. We're going to go see the Crane Wives. Uh, so very excited for that.
Is that in
And
Madison?
no, maybe that's where one of their stops is, but we're going to St. Paul.
Ah, okay, okay. Fun, fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
There are certain, so like when we went and saw Weird Al, could not take my knitting in. So Weird Al
Mm.
was not a crafting adventure. They were like, you can't even take clear bags in for that one. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, check your venue. Maybe it was in Chicago that I was. Anyway, I look out at SeatGeek to see what cheap tickets are going on as part of my compulsion. It's like yarn shopping. It's like, ooh, cheap concert tickets.
Yeah, these were reasonable. I haven't looked at a reasonable ticket in a really long time, right? And
Mhm.
it's not a knock on anyone or if you are reasonable. Um, but yeah, I think the last concert that my kids showed interest in was Hosier, and that's not a concert ticket that's
I was gonna say
easy.
Coldplay is like $700, I believe,
Yes.
now in Chicago.
Yes.
And those are like the amazing priced tickets, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's more than I want to spend. Maybe if I was a super fan and it was just me, but I'm, trying to pay for 3 to 4 people to go. That's kind of a non-starter.
Yeah. 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 All right. That's all the Administrati I have. You've got some whips.
Yes, I do. So, I will start
Amy's
with
like, I
the
got you. I got whips.
yeah. So, yeah, whips are always where I shine. Um,
Yes.
so I noticed a trend that everybody's travel buddy is Musaburo hat. So
Hmm.
I have one on the needles. I've started in this lovely green and then a stripe. And these are from kind of deep stash. Um, I can't remember this. The green is from something strings. They went to our marketplace once, um, and I can't remember off the top of my head, and I
Stunning
apologize.
String? No, Stunning
Oh
String
yeah,
was at
yeah,
our,
no, that
they
was
were at
it.
our market multiple times, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Stunning strings.
Yep.
So
Ooh, yeah. Love
beautiful.
that green.
Yep. And then the contrasting color or the opposite color is just deep stash. I don't remember what it was. It didn't end up having a tag on it. So definitely a sock yarn and lots of blues and greens. Really pretty.
Yeah,
So
really nice against that. Solid.
that's one. And then I decided to start knitting socks for people in my family. And so I have, and this is beyond extended family. So I have my sister-in-law's Chiefs socks. So this is our retreat colorway, micro striping from Queen City Yarns.
Love it.
And uh, yeah, she's in Kansas City. So these are Chiefs colors and making a pair of socks. I'm going to
They
do
look like
shorties.
cyclone colors to me, but
I know, I know. I plan on making these shorties, so then when I have enough to make her spouse a set of shorties, and then if I need to add, toes and cuffs by the time I get her shorties done, I will know if I need to do that or if I will be able to make it. But his shoe size is between mine and my husband's size, so it will be pretty easy to judge how much yarn I'm going to need. So,
yeah,
and
love
then
that. Love those micro stripes. Just as I thought. I love those micro
yeah,
stripes.
for me this is 68, but I knit socks of iron. Very tight knitter when it comes to socks. So mileage may vary or your appearance may vary depending, but
Mhm.
looks nice. And then I frogged a project. I was making a very complicated Zandy Peters towel out of some yarn. And I was talking with my dad, and he said that gray and gold were colors that he would be interested in socks. And then I was like, oh, that project is gray and gold, but and red. So kind of gophers colors with a gray mixed
Mm.
in. So I went ahead and I ripped that project out and started him a pair of socks. So
Mm.
those are going. Okay, so and then another pair of socks. These are for me, and I was knitting on them during the retreat, but this is sock number 2 of the
Yeah.
Muses. These kind of stalled after the retreat, and you've seen other socks make progress since the retreat. So uh, chances are these will just be my traveling sock, or I don't know. It's kind of like I have a book that I only get a page at a time before I'm like really tired and I go to sleep. This
Yeah.
this is the sock version of that.
Yeah.
It's gonna get one row every other day or something. And then last but certainly not least, I cast on the outline tee
Ooh.
in some Treasure Goddess silk. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
So it's 100% silk. It's a fingering weight. You get 400 and some yards per skein. I bought this at the retreat last year.
Drapey
Um,
goodness right there.
oh my gosh. And it is so soft and so wonderful. The only thing I have to say about it is I highly recommend putting them in yarn huggers because silk is very slippery and it likes to un yeah, just kind of relax out of the ball.
I know you would like me to keep it together, but I am just going to.
Yes. So for yarn management, you definitely want, so I have both of them in yarn huggers of various varieties. This came off of our free table at the retreat
Hmm.
this year. And then this was something I bought from Berry Fun one
Very
year.
fun.
Yeah. So I am cruising along on this. I do want to make this. I cast on a little bit smaller size this time, and I want to make it longer. And hopefully, I get all the way to the end. If not, I do think that I can modify this bottom to be something else if I had to, right? So it's supposed to be an outline tee. Time will tell. Hopefully, I get through what my goals are and on length, and I'm able to make it. Also, I want to make the top less open. Uh, as designed, it's very open. It likes to fall, flash dance
Yeah.
style. Very, very, it doesn't sit on your shoulders if you're moving. Uh, you can be still in full stay.
Hmm.
But if you're gesturing or you're talking, it's going this way, it's going that way. So I'm going to make one that's more, I don't know, the opening won't be as wide and it will be a little bit more close to my shoulders
Yeah,
on
a
the top.
little more fitted.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. I get that.
Yep, so that's the plan. But like I said, when you're modifying something, sometimes plans go awry.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I did finish up the sweater that I was working on or sort of working on, and the socks I was working on at ZK. You'll see that in an upcoming FO episode. As I mentioned on the Crafting Adventures Patreon chat, the Muscle Burrow is definitely my on-the-go project all of a sudden. I went through, I've got like one of our bins from last year our bags, sorry, I'm using them as a bin full of like my scraps. So like sweater, dipped into that third or fourth skein and didn't use all of it. Oop, here you go. And a lot of them were just like small little balls, did a little bit of culling, right? Like, okay, this isn't even 10 grams. Like, why did I save this? maybe because I thought like I'd need to repair something on the sweater after I washed it and wore it or whatever, right? Like for whatever reason, I just had all kinds of bits and bobs in these bins. Culled that down to like, okay, at least have 20 grams. If I've got more, now I've got two bins, like a 20-gram bin and like a more. And then that really has led to these muscle burros being like, okay, now I can grab, two from the 40 or three from the 40 and then one from the bigger than 50 and away I go. So I finished the one that was from I was showcasing from last week's activities, and I started a another one. This one's some leftovers of magpie, so it's very soft and smushy. And I have some coworkers that have joined my personal leadership team, or like the my leaders leadership team that didn't get a hat. I'm not going to make everybody so this is just the differential between the last time I made hats. So like you work with me, you eventually get a hat, I think is the story I'm telling. So yeah, a couple of females, a lot more males. So also brought in all of the extras from the blanket that I made last year for Ellie, which was like all of my single ladies that were blue. So I've got a lot of blues that I can make for the men that I work with.
Mm.
But yeah, Amy and I kind of talked about it, but yeah, I start out with one color. I go to that second color with the skinny stripe, so the top matches the thicker stripe. I do that 14 times, 6 to 8 here, depending on what I'm feeling like, and then I flip flop the stripes, and it's all just two ends here, which I recommend weaving in early in your journey. So a last minute weave in when you finish that one of the the skinny stripe, the last skinny stripe, and then yeah, you do a nice little sphincter close and weaving in on the other end. And yeah, super loving getting back to this. If anybody um, was surprised at all by love it, love it, love it, love it. And then yesterday, jumped on the needles because I was like, oh, we're doing whip episode. I should probably get that whip on the needle. The Pierre top, which is a lacy
Oh my
cotton
goodness.
top. Yeah. Was working on this last night. The lace is like super intuitive once you get it down. Funny story there. Megan moment slash human moment. Printed the pattern, started making the back, which is where you start, and read the instructions. Like there's an instruction that this opens up quite a bit, right? So like even if you go to try it on, you may want to like steam block it because it'll really open up and get big. So it looks like you're making a tank top for a baby, but it's actually for an adult human. And I get through like the first repeat on the back, and I'm like, this lace is not popping like the pattern had. Like, what did I do wrong? And I'm looking at the chart. I'm like, and then I look at I didn't print out the pattern. I just printed out the charts, which I find helpful because then I'm not constantly turning my phone screen on because I'm not putting it on
Mhm.
like an iPad or whatever for the lace. And I had printed it unknowingly in black and white, but in black and white. And I'm not going to show too much of the pattern, but you can see there's a lot of color in in this, and the color is pearl stitches.
Oh,
So I was making it without the pearl stitches because I had printed it in black and white, and the cells weren't tinted with the pearl
oh,
color.
well,
Yeah,
that's an interesting, what do
yeah.
you say?
Not a dot or a dash, right? Like you normally
Right.
see for a pearl stitch. And I should have known, again, laughing at myself, but like for legend, right? Like I was looking at these two boxes and I'm like, why are they the same thing? Like,
Mm, okay.
because one was missing the tint. Anyway, it's a very lovely pattern, the Pierre top. And I think maybe like different knitting standards in different countries because I think maybe
Hmm.
she's yeah, like it was translated into English. But
Hmm.
very nice. Like again, you could see here like the pieces are
Yeah.
charted per size, right? So that's
Hmm.
nice. I could just print out my size. I'm not trying to read like lines and figure out which part is actually mine. But important to print it in color, or at least realize that some of those cells
Yeah,
need to be pearls.
yeah. I was thinking that sounds like an accessibility issue, right?
Yeah,
Putting
especially
important
with like this
information in
red, right?
colors.
Like, yeah, because it's a lot of people are red green colorblind too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
yes,
I think about that stuff a lot because I work with a lot of colorblind people.
agreed. So did I. Yeah. So yeah, it's a super fun and addicting waste pattern. I thought I was just going to cast it on to be able to talk about it here, and then lo and behold, almost have the top part done. This is Queen City in the merino and cotton fingering that is an experimental base. Yes, and I also, Nikki is laughing in the comments. I was holding it up upside down.
Well,
She was like, are those the sleeves? No, those are the armholes. But I do think I'll have plenty of yarn. So I'm thinking I'll probably do like a little bit of a pick up and do a short row sleeve on the base. The Pier Top has a bunch of different options. I could have bought one that had the full sleeves, but I think I liked that this was knit up with the cotton in the right gauge, with like a skinnier yarn. And if I wanted to make a tank, I liked the fitting of the straps in the back. So, but yeah, it's a super great motif, once you figure out that there's pearls in it.
yeah. Well, and sometimes you have to do that, right? You're like,
Mhm.
I, there's like four different versions of a pattern, and you're like, I just don't want to do the math. Give me
Yeah.
the one that is the closest to what I'm wanting to make. Yeah,
Yes.
fair.
So yeah, no, super, super fun. And yeah, loving. I took home one of the spare Queen City spare
Mhm.
shelves, and I've got all my recent purchases sitting on it, kind of going like,
Ooh.
ah, knit me, knit me. So this was the first one, apropos, since Queen City is the tire of that base, but many more want to be cast on soon. So,
Oh, 100%. I actually did cast on that summer session
mm.
last night, but it's not worth showing. It'll still
What
be
did you
around
decide
when we
to
get to it.
what yarn did? Oh, the Queen City base. Okay, yeah,
Yep, yep. It's a merino silk base, beautiful color, and I can't wait to have the finished object.
yeah.
And
You
that's
were
my
pointing out
favorite.
that the Diva base would be really great for that, as well,
Yes,
right? Because it's six,
yes,
it's a really big put up, and for the vest, in many sizes that put up would accommodate. So.
yes. So what I want to do is finish this out and then do some yardage calculations, right, for my size before I start my diva version
Mhm.
of it. But yes, it did say that you could get the first three sizes in under 600 yards. So
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, yes. Awesome, awesome.
All right, bye.
Bye, Ufta.
Okay.
All right, off you go.
Yeah, I'm getting
Thanks.
notifications that the meeting has started. I'm waiting for the Amy, are you there? Even though it's 2 minutes. So
Yep.